Hey, I wanted to present you how to interact and use Mirva Agent. Let's start by importing a couple assets that we're going to use in our presentation. I can simply drag and drop any files from my local hard drive and they'll appear on the board. Starting with the first method, whenever I'm not connected to any particular board, I can always right-click or choose the drop-down menu and select Send to Mirva. This loads the drawing in the context of the Mirva agent, allowing me to refer to that specific image. However, since we'll be working on a new project, it's always recommended to create a new conversation using this button in the top left, New Chat with Mirva. This allows Agent to start fresh and not get confused by any of the previous instructions or projects that we were working on before. So we can send this one here and we can type some simple instruction, for example, change jacket to denim material. That's the first method. Using Sending to Mirva from the board level, we always send the thumbnail, which is most of the time 1024 pixels, capped at this size. So whenever we would like to actually get a higher resolution, we would have to connect to the canvas and get a selection of the actual pixels. We're going to do that in a moment, but I just wanted to show you that Mirva Agent always tries to place the result on the canvas in your current viewport. That's why we see the placeholder, and as soon as the generation is over, it's placed here. We can also take a look at what model was used and what exactly was the prompt that was sent to this specific model. If we want to, especially for more complex instructions, if something is not working as expected, it's often helpful to walk through the actual thinking process of the agent to understand what's going on. We can see in this case that this was quite simple, so there was not much reasoning, but we can still see that the agent has picked Nano Banana model based on some of the internal thought process. So the second method, whenever we need higher quality, would be connecting to the canvas and selecting, for example, either the whole canvas or just a part of it, and again, right-clicking it and selecting Send to Mirva. Maybe in this case, we can say, change the color to red. This was actually a result of the previous generation, so it's still 1K. If we go to this canvas, we're going to see that the full resolution for the original was 4K, so we can also make the same change here. Change the belt color to red. We can submit multiple instructions simultaneously, and the agent will process them in parallel. Since we can operate with selection, one other very helpful feature is that we can also actually make a selection of a certain fragment if we only want to work in that area. In this case, let's take the face of the character and say, change glasses to red color. We are not limited to one method or the other. We can actually always mix and match these different methods. At any given time, we can select one region, send it to Mirva, then we can select another region and send it to Mirva again, ensuring that the agent during generation will have access to all of these subsequent images. This is especially helpful in cases where, for example, we have our character in multiple variations, and maybe you'd like to mix some of those together to achieve a certain result. If the agent determines that for certain edit it doesn't make sense to place it on the board, which sometimes happen, you can actually always either download the image to your hard drive or place it as a new canvas. If the prompt was more generic and you would like to try another result with the same prompt, you can simply click this icon, which creates you another variation. Usually, especially for prompts that were quite precise, this probably wouldn't matter much. However, in some cases, it's helpful for exploration. So for example, if we changed her brown bomber jacket to a blue denim jacket, keeping everything else the same, if we use this icon, maybe you would get a different variant of the jacket that we could then compare. The ability to send multiple images to the agent really helps. For example, I'll take these two and say, take the belt from the first character and the rest of the clothing from the second. And now, mix two images. Sometimes, especially for more complex tasks, the agent might not fully understand our intent. Despite Mirva Agent being great at analyzing and understanding user intent most of the time, if it does something unpredicted, it's really helpful to take a look at the reasoning and potentially tweak the way we instruct it. Uploading images is one way to attach an image, but I can also always reply to a message. For example, if I reply to that specific message and say, change the color of the jacket to yellow, the Mirva agent will know that I specifically mean this image and this result, and it will automatically look at the right image. Similarly, I can also use natural language to tell it which image I have in mind. For example, take the image of the character with the yellow belt and do some edits to it. So we can always use the method that's most useful in given context. We also have some of the tools exposed directly, so if you type @ you will see that you can actually tag any of the models directly to specify precisely which tool you would like to use. Mirva also supports tools like Remove Background or Upscale, which help you to change the resolution or remove the background of the image, and you can either select them specifically or simply type Remove Background, and Mirva Agent will pick the right tool for a given task. Background removal is especially helpful when you're photo bashing different scenes, as it allows you to place output on different layers and blend them together to achieve desired result. For each generation, you can use these buttons to place the image, and it will always place it in the current board context. So if, for example, you'd like to make an edit to that specific image, you'd have to first connect to it, and once you're connected, use the Place button. If we have a scene that we just imported, we can always connect to that drawing, and after we're connected, we can do the placement, which will make our image appear on a separate layer. That's it. You've learned the basics of using Mirva Agent. Thanks for listening.